Hello again. This is Stephen Wilson, and I am running for Congress in the Missouri 3rd District as a Libertarian in 2012. The purpose of this video is to explain an overall strategy for the campaign about what needs to be done in the short term and long term about our market device. Before I get into the list, I just want to make some things clear. I don't think that the government should operate like a business, but I do believe in logic and reason. And something that needs to be acknowledged by the Missouri voter is that we need to remove the human element in order to get rid of corruption. In finance, we use anchors to help us understand the relationship of business. When you start talking about things like inventory and debt load and profits and the way that people manipulate their ledger, notes payable, things like that, this is something that we need to talk about because if we do use anchors, we're going to help ourselves become a little bit more efficient and effective, because the fact that we won't have to deal with all of the jealousy and the rage and the greed, because if we're given perfect information, we're going to be able to make better choices because of that perfect information, and it's going to be displayed to us in a way where it doesn't wind up looking like propaganda. It's just empirical data in real time. So now that I've set that up, here are some of the things that I would do in order to get the economy jump-started again. First of all, I would default on all of the international debt load. Number two, I would start contracting for negotiations to take pennies on the dollar for any domestic debt. I would shut down the Federal Reserve banking system. I would use a carousel of gold, silver, and copper to standardize our exchange mechanism. I would also set the federal taxation rates for 10 years and remove all of the loopholes if we do maintain a tax system, because the fact that people need to be able to forecast beyond what they can possibly see, and knowing what they're going to be paying for and what rate is going to help people start to prepare for the long term. Number five, this is where the overall primer comes in. This is where we start to set the foundation, and that is federal spending is going to be anchored in real time, and I'm going to explain that in another video. But this basically is going to be anchoring federal spending to the total population approximately, and a set percentage of the median household income. The reason that the median household income is used is because statistically it is superior to the mean income, because it is directly bullseye in your distribution or in your own domain. Next thing that we need to talk about, and something I believe by now the video is online, but government employee wage has got to be tied to median household income, and their employment calendar has got to be termed out, just like the Missouri politicians. In regards to the regulations, this should be a no-brainer, but I'm not going to talk about the way that the government interferes with the market device, but 7 and 8 are really tied together. I wanted to separate them because I wanted people to understand that regulations are an offense to anybody who still believes in law. And regulations don't save you from an outcome that you can't afford, because you can't afford the regulations anymore. Regulations do behave financially in the same way that we have inflation. In the short term, number 8 deals directly with the people that are poor, and the collectivism and our ghettoization theory. The people, if you want to, at the bottom of the barrel. These would be identifiable as informal markets of scale. And this is basically just something that people need to be able to build their own market persona, and this really is a full affront to the Democrat and the Republicans' almost draconian format of conformity about this is what you're going to look like in the market, this is how you're going to do it, and this is how you're going to behave, and et cetera, and that just needs to end. These informal markets are a part of any kind of country, any kind of scale markets. It doesn't matter if you're talking about shipping, it doesn't matter if you're talking about farming. Right now, farmer markets and flea markets would be a very good example. But the informal markets of scale are important because people have got to start learning about finance and banking, and they need to learn at a very early age. And whatever you can do in the market, as long as the market can bear it, the government just needs to stop interfering with our market persona. And this is these are the bullet points. This is basically the overall system that I would use to get those conversations started about what has to happen in our Congress. And I would like to point out that the people of Missouri have got to acknowledge the long-term problem of ignoring our debt load. I'm not going to teach you that. You need to do that for yourself, by yourself, in your own time. But you need to think about that when you look at the Democrat and Republican and about the way that they have almost refused to acknowledge that we are spending more than we take in. Thank you for your time.